Microphone's barely on. We're gonna blast through this because this is a quick review of the Scuf controller Infinity 4PS. So here I have the Scuf controller. It's an awesome controller just from what I've used. So overall, as you can tell, this controller is an expensive piece of plastic. You have paddles for mapping them to any of the extra buttons. As you can tell, I don't have any of the triangular, square, circle, and X, but you get your own serial number. You have these awesome paddles for your fingers. They fit just like this because Scuf is all about ergonomics with the controller and having the person use a controller properly while gaming for long periods of time or for those professional gamers. Now see, I did this on accident, but I found out that this is actually how most players get their controllers for playing professional. Really, it just comes down to preference though. I got the Scuf sticks, the joysticks, with a concaved left joystick and a bumped right joystick, and this allows your thumb to rest in this one since this one doesn't really move as much as this one quickly. This one allows just the tip of your thumb to control this one and switch back and forth between these. Some people go with the longer joysticks. It feels just like a normal controller. When I compare it to my PlayStation controller, the PlayStation controller is actually heavier than the Scuf. A couple things that I didn't get on this controller that you could have gotten on the Scuf controllers are the grip. And I feel like the grip would have definitely helped. I don't like this backing that they've created at Scuf. I feel like it actually makes it slippier than this micro textured back on the PlayStation controller. So there's a bunch of these lines where the two molds meet. I didn't really enjoy that actually. I don't, this is the part where I tear this controller to pieces. This mold on the top right here, if you can't tell because I have a black Scuf controller on black bottom Scuf controller, there's a top mold and a bottom mold. First of all, the gapping for this doesn't line up perfectly, and for the amount of money that I've paid for this, I feel like I should get a controller where the gaps line up and they're not super wide in one area and super thin in another. And then also, on the inner part of this controller, we have kind of like a divot, and like your finger doesn't really sit there, but it's something I noticed at first. It's like when they created this mold, they didn't refine it enough because there's these jagged edges. They don't match up. It's like overlaying, and that's my gripe with the build quality. Other than that, I find the controllers pretty sturdy. I did get the Infinity 4PS because it has these interlocking joysticks, so you can take this joystick off and then change the key lock around it, or the key ring around it. Can't really tell here, but on my normal PlayStation controller, there's a lot of wear and tear on it. And I actually think that this will solve the issue in the fact that I can replace it and make it feel a little bit more like new. I can replace the joysticks when they start to wear out. I can replace the key rings when they start to wear out. That's pretty much it. It charges like a normal PlayStation controller. It's a little bit lighter. You can change the triggers. I still haven't figured out what these vampire teeth triggers actually do, because to be honest, they just kind of make it a little bit more comfortable if I don't feel like using the paddles. I do have these trigger stops, and I'm gonna take off the vampire paddles so that way you guys can see. And I'm not sure that you guys are gonna be able to see just yet, but let me step out of the way, and right here you can see the pinhole to adjust how far, or the tension on these triggers. And then also you see this little slat line thing right here that can be moved. Not supposed to really be moved by your finger, but it can be moved to allow your trigger to be able to be pressed longer, which is better for racing games, or press shorter for when you're playing those Call of Duty non-stop finger tapping button smashing games. Compared to the PlayStation controller, only time will tell on how long it lasts. But being with that I paid so much for this controller, I'm gonna have to put it kind of in between the PlayStation controller and the Microsoft Elite controller in terms of build quality and pricing. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, you probably should if you want to see more content like this. If not, then go ahead and click off this video and enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Carlin. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. These triggers I can't say actually help. I don't get hairpin triggers, or not hairpin triggers, but I don't get having these long triggers, how they help anything. If someone understands this, please explain, because to me, it doesn't do